Welcome everyone, it's Carmelia Ray here for Breezeway Productions at the Princess of Wales Theatre for the world premiere of His Three Daughters. It's directed and written by Azazel Jacobs, and here we have the director of photography, Sam Levy, on site as well. We're hoping to catch an interview of them. This film explores the relationship of three estranged sisters that come together after their father declines. It is exploring the family dynamic and relationships between siblings, and it sounds like they're going to go deep and, go into this relationship deeper to understand how they come together and their experiences as a family. I'm looking forward to screening this film, and we hope that you enjoy it. Stay tuned for our interviews. So, Azazel, can you share a little bit about the inspiration behind this movie? Because I understand not only did you direct it, it's your screenplay.
Yes, and I cut it as well. So it's, I think the film is as personal as can be. I grew up in New York City, then came back after living in Los Angeles to be close to my folks who have hit this point where every day is questionable.
Both mom and dad?
Both mom and dad. And my pops is 90 and my mom's not too far behind. And I had to figure out a way to turn the kind of how unpredictable and how impossible everything seemed into something that I can control, which is a film, and actually it turned out to be like an incredibly joyful, cathartic experience compared to the real thing.
Do you have sisters or siblings?
I have a sister, and to be honest, this experience with my folks have only brought us a lot closer. So I wouldn't say, of course, like it's personal in the way that things are in there, but I'm grabbing from friends and from fantasies. You don't really know where these things come from. Yeah,
I don't know if you know about the what they say about the relationship between three siblings, like the elder, the middle, and the youngest, because it seems like even in the description there are three very different characters, and they're estranged. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm fascinated by the idea that we can be brought up in the same exact home and yet have very, very different experiences and become very, very different people. And it just happens, I think, with all families. Even if there's a few years apart, there's really your parents are different parents to each sibling. And so that was something for me to explore. Like I don't have, two other siblings, but I've been around enough. And in terms of the film, having these three different directions coming from three different places, it made the writing a lot more dynamic.
Right. When it comes to palliative care, it can be very challenging. What's the message that you want the audience to get about caring for their parents or elderly?
I found it so confusing and so impossible that I wanted to I find comfort knowing that other people are going through this, and I'm hoping the audience will see and recognize things that they have experienced, strange things, odd things, and great things, and relate to it and realize like this is best case scenario what we go through if we get to outlive our parents.
On the writing process, when do you write? When are you most creative? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I head out early in the morning with a little notepad, just writing random stuff. And then at a certain point, I realize that I could be writing. It feels like 20 different stories. And then at some point, something hopefully breaks through where you realize, oh, this could be one story, or this is all for nothing.
Right. And it's a largely female cast, and they're also executive producers. What's it like to collaborate with probably three strong females?
This was one of the great experiences for me. It was just the experience of halfway through the script, I realized I was writing for them, was able to, because I had a relationship with them, was able to send them the script directly. They all responded, and then we started working together. And from the beginning to now, it's just been really a blessing.
Amazing. And last question, how long did the project take, like from the time that you thought about writing this screenplay to the completion to where we are today?
This has been super fast. I think that I finished, we shot in December, so I think that it's been really a year between everything. It just came together very, very quickly, and it's been a seamless experience somehow to all the way over to here, other than the fact that the actors aren't here.
Any comment on what's happening right now with the strike?
they are so missed. They are so essential. They are so needed. I hope everybody realizes how important, how valuable, and how necessary it is for people to get paid humanly salaries, you know?
Where are you from?
I'm from New York City.
New York City.
Yeah.
What was it like to work on this film and with these, to show the dynamic of the relationship between these ladies?
It was an honor to get to work on this film with three of our great actresses, you know, generational talents, and the incredible director and writer, Azazel Jacobs. You know, I'm always just trying to find the best scripts and the most creative and interesting collaborators, and this had all of those things. And we shot in New York City and the Lower East Side, about a 5-minute walk from where I live, so I could roll over there anytime and shoot stills and make tests and just kind of explore in a way that you usually don't get the opportunity to do.
Does any of the, in the film, do you get to see any of the women in childhood as they related to their father?
No, it's all in their adulthood, and it's over a several-day period. So it doesn't, you don't see a big passage of time in the story. It's a very finite period within about a week.
Mm-hmm. Can people relate to the fact that everyone can be in the same room and be at the same event, yet have so different experiences? Why do you think that happens?
I think it's probably the human condition. You know, we're all at any one time going through different emotional experiences, and sometimes they intersect, and we share an emotional experience with someone else, and sometimes they're wildly different. So, in our story, the Natasha Lyonne character might be very upset while the Carrie Coon character is happy, or the Elizabeth Olsen character somewhere in between. And so the challenge of making a film and making it cinematic when there's a lot of dialogue is getting all these experiences to sort of coexist and flow into one another.
Are you an only child, or do you have siblings?
I'm an only child.
Well, sometimes friendships are like sibling relationships. What do you think is often misunderstood between siblings?
Well, I would say as an only child, the relationship between three siblings, especially three sisters, is totally exotic to me because it wasn't a life experience I got to have. So maybe as an outsider to someone, as someone who didn't have siblings, my point of view maybe was more unique than someone who grew up with three siblings and might take aspects of that dynamic for granted.
This may be an unfair question, but which of the characters did you most resonate with in terms of personality?
Really all of them, in different ways, in different parts. I guess that's a really difficult question to answer, but
Did you have a favorite character?
I did. I love all of them. I really do love all of them similarly. I guess, at points, it just would depend on whatever scene we were doing that day. In a way, my job is to identify as closely as we can with all of these characters and really try and put myself in their shoes so that when we're photographing them, I have as much empathy as possible. Even for someone who might in a different movie be like a villain or someone who's evil, which these characters aren't, my job is to empathize with them so that we have the best chance of the audience staying engaged and not tuning out the story as possible.
Is there a favorite moment or scene, without giving it away, that you really enjoyed shooting?
Let's see. There's a lot. There's so many different kinds of scenes. I would say the most challenging ones, because we shot this movie on film, on 35 millimeter film, and we shot a lot of scenes at night and in low light, and those are definitely the most challenging and in a way the most exciting, and all the characters intersect through all of those.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing the film.
Me too. Thanks for having me.